We started it mostly as a hobby. There was 5 of us that got together to do this, and the whole idea was, all right, let's start a brewery that'll basically pay the rent, pay to keep itself operating, and then when we go out to a bar, hey, there's our beer on tap. That's kind of neat. You know, just lets us sort of hone our game and have a lot of fun with it. That took off a little better than we expected. The demand was more than we could meet. People really wanted to get our growlers at the time. So I love doing a new beer. Putting together the recipe is the best part. Actually sort of sitting down on paper, designing the recipe. And then brewing it is sort of just by rote. You go through the steps, you brew it up, and then of course, I'm always excited to taste it and see if what I had in my head, what I thought I was going to get, is what I actually get out. And I'm getting much better at dialing that in. For the fall, we're still working on some new recipes for that. So for Thanksgiving, I actually hope to have this out. This is a test batch I did. It's actually based off of like an old American Indian pudding. It's brewed with flaked corn, molasses, some vanilla beans, a couple of spices, some ginger and cinnamon. Indian pudding itself is a cornmeal mush made with cornmeal, molasses, various spices, and people make it today. They usually top it with some vanilla ice cream. For Beervana Fest, we're actually going to have a version of our porter infused with some New Harvest coffee, their Whisper coffee in particular. So we cold brew a sort of a concentrated version of that and do about 20% that to 80% of the porter. And those flavors complement each other really well. So they have sort of a smoky cherry fruit kind of flavor coming off of that coffee. It really just complements the sweet chocolate and vanilla flavors you're getting out of the porter. We also have a very limited edition honey ale that we've just released. It's in-house only. We're going to be serving that at some festivals as well, so that'll probably be at Beervana Fest and the Great International. So yeah, if you come in here to do a flight, do a tasting, get a flight of beer like this, and this is what we're going to consider our main lineup at any given time. We have 6 taps here. So we have our Hoppy 25th Anniversary Pilsner here, our Bog Cranberry Orange Saison, 33rd Inning Red Rye Lager, Pawtucket Pale Ale, the Hive Mind Honey Ale, and the Park Loop Porter. So this is our flagship beer. It's the Pawtucket Pale Ale, although it wasn't originally intended to supplant anything else, but it sort of has taken off. And I think a big part of that is because the pale is in the name. People love pales, love pales and IPAs. So it's our hoppiest beer, but it's certainly not a hop bomb by any stretch of the imagination. It's got a bit of bitterness, but it also has some caramel sweetness to it from the malts that provide a nice balance to that, so it doesn't blow away your palate. I actually went to a beer festival out in Portland, Oregon, and no matter what the beer style was, if you had an IPA, it was crazy hop. If you had an amber ale, crazy hops. Stout, crazy hop. I wanted to make a pale that was dialed back and closer to what you would have as a traditional pale ale. And it's still heavier, still got a lot more hops going on than you might have in like a Bass ale or traditional European pale ale, but it brings it back to that balance. Hops can be a real crutch. You can make a great, really hoppy IPA, but you can also hide a really bad one under a ton of hops.